I can't just tax all the Bitcoin in California. It'll move to Wyoming. It'll move to Singapore. It'll move to Malta. And at the end of the day, you can tell everybody go fuck themselves. You can put it in your head, memorize the freaking key, right? And it's here. And then, you know, the classic Bitcoiner response is, oh, yeah, my Bitcoin, I lost it in a boating accident. You ever heard that phrase? It's kind of a trope, but what it means is at the end of the day, if you push me too far, I lost it. It's gone. Sorry.
That's it. You're right.
Tax that.
GM. Happy ETH ETF launch day for those who celebrate. We're going to go through some Bitcoin action here, Mt. Gox, and of course the ETH ETF as well. So stay tuned for all of that. If you're hyped, make sure you do subscribe and we'll jump straight on in. So we're starting off with Bitcoin here, a bit of a dump overnight, but it is actually recovering quite well here, back to 67K. So bit of a drawdown, nothing great, couple percentage points. If you've been consuming the analysis of Crown for any time, you'll realize by now that since the start of the year, Tuesday has been the most dumpiest of days for Bitcoin. So it wouldn't be a surprise if we have a red day here. And to the downside, he was saying somewhere in the region of low 65s, which would be a decent move from here still, would be the area he'd be looking to add long-term positions in. So if you have a long-term mindset, the momentum is now in favor of the bulls. And so if you get a dip down with a 65 handle, that's probably a really big opportunity in the long run here. It does seem that the momentum really has shifted here. And think about where Germany sold down here, 54Ks, which is seemingly a long way from here, like 54K up to where we are, 67. You're talking over a 22% move there from the lows in a very swift amount of time. What's that? Maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's starting to feel to me at least, and I am a bulltard at heart, that we're having a real run here towards all-time highs and the momentum really has shifted and we're really climbing the walls of worry. And Mt. Gox being the last one to be summited. Then here we have ETF inflows for Bitcoin back with a vengeance and some huge numbers here. If we just look at Blackrock, over the last 24 hours, the numbers coming in are over $500 million. So Blackrock absolutely slurping up Bitcoin here at a tremendous rate. So $500 million, that is a phenomenal number. We often get lost in the sauce with these numbers, but pretty damn incredible to see. And we've had a spate of huge inflows over the last couple of weeks here. So a lot of backstop here for Bitcoin in the market. Now, looking at some of the events this week, it is a big week in crypto. Typically we say, you know, it's always a big week ahead, but this week does feel like a very big week. ETH ETFs going live today. We've got Trump speaking at Bitcoin Nashville, as to will Elon Musk, who's just put the laser eyes back on. And we've also got rumors swirling that Trump is considering Larry Fink for Treasury Secretary. And as we know, Larry is now full-time bullish on crypto. So pretty incredible stuff. If we just look at the lineup here, we've got Bitcoin Nashville starting on Thursday. We've got Edward Snowden cancelled. Russell Brand, also a cancelled person, as to is Trump and RFK. 4 out of the 6 speakers here are cancelled and pro-crypto. Maybe we are onto something here. Maybe that's tinfoil hat, but it's going to be a very big one in terms of this conference with the things we're starting to hear around maybe having Bitcoin as a reserve currency if Trump is made president, which is pretty incredible. We know RFK is anything that is kind of counterculture or against the mainstream he is backing, and Snowden with his attendance on crypto Twitter is also very bullish on crypto. Obviously, if you're speaking at Bitcoin conferences, you're going to be coming in with a positive slant, but some of the messaging that could come from this at the end of this week could be really bullish for the markets. Then we've got this. So Coinbase ETH ETFs have arrived. Today, the SEC approved 9-spot ETH ETF applications. So a big move forward and a huge milestone for Ethereum here. And Brian, who is bald, states this. He says a huge step forward and confirmation that ETH is not a security. Been fighting it and saying it for years. The SEC has made it official. And Coinbase is proud to be the trusted partner and custodian of 8 of the 9 newly approved ETH ETFs. So this one rolls in nicely to this one here, which we saw this on-chain transfer So around 292,000 ETH moved from Grayscale to Coinbase Institutional. So people were saying, look, they're dumping coins already. No, that is not the case. This was approximately 10% of their holdings moving from the ETH Trust into the ETH mini trust of Grayscale. ETH E is the ticker. And so they are seeding that fund with this. And remember, that has very low fees, just 15 basis points. So the marketing is starting to begin here. And the first moves are being made by these providers. So as in the last time out, Bitcoin ETF, Grayscale just non-stop dumping and preventing price from moving up. We don't have that dynamic here, it would seem, with ETH. Now, I did want to just cover this real quick. We'll listen to the first minute of this. So this is Jay Jacobs from Blackrock, and he essentially tells you the marketing points that they're pushing for Ethereum here. So let's listen into this.
Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap after Bitcoin and has key characteristics that make it distinct. While many see Bitcoin's key appeal in its scarcity, many find Ethereum's appeal in its utility. Ethereum is a highly programmable blockchain that provides infrastructure for a diverse range of assets and use cases. You can think of Ethereum as a global platform for applications. This platform enables applications referred to as smart contracts to run without a centralized intermediary. Transactions on Ethereum require a transaction fee to be paid in the network's native token, Ether. Investor interest in Ether has been expanding as more people adopt digital assets. And that's why we're introducing Ether, the iShares Ethereum Trust ETF, which provides investors convenient exposure to Ether.
So with that, you're kind of getting the highlights from the marketing reel and how they're going to be selling this to investors. They're going to be pushing ETH for its utility as the application layer. And as we know, Larry Fink has been on TV saying we will tokenize everything. So the tokenization platform for the suits to utilize. So very interesting stuff here coming from that camp. And this is actually the iShares from BlackRock website today. Access Ethereum is on their homepage introducing Ether. So they are just highly promoting, obviously, their new fund here. And I think for anyone who's been in this space for some time, it's pretty wild to see that the number 2 crypto asset by market cap is now getting shilled by one of the biggest asset managers on planet Earth. So seeing some of the sentiment out there around this, and then just thinking about how big this is, a lot of people are bearish on it right now, which is pretty damn crazy. There's going to be inflows into this thing. There's going to be a net positive inflow. In the short term, who knows what happens the first couple of days. Whatever happens, happens. But as we've seen with the success of the Bitcoin ETF, they're going to be hoovering up coins and tokens. And ETH has been pretty much a stable coin for a little period of time here. And so I think the change in dynamic with a big buyer potentially stepping in here and just hoovering up supply, it's pretty much certain to make the number go up. And it's just crystallizing ETH as an institutional grade asset here. So can't be anything other than bullish in my opinion. I think the people who are bearish are maybe people who are high leverage traders, people who haven't got a investment mindset in this market, because this is nothing but bullish. Now, in terms of marketing, I've seen this one. I had to include this today. Nate Garachi. So he says, what a headline. Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust will trade for approximately $3 a share with this low handle, low price point. It could help attract retail. So this was the funny one. Grayscale's Mini Ether could cost less than a Big Mac, and a picture of a burger in there. So let me know down below if you can get $3 Big Macs. I would happily buy a few of those. Pretty hungry right now. But in terms of the normie mindset, seeing you can buy ETH or ETH shares here for just $3 per pop, it is potentially a marketing super move from Grayscale. So quick look at ETH BTC on the day of the ETH ETF launch. As you can see, bottom tick 5,090,000 Satoshis. And it's up to 5,265,000 Satoshis as we talk here. Of course, the trend is still down, but I kind of expect that this ETF launching today will mark a bottom for ETH BTC, and we can work our ways up and out from here. So very much excited to see how these flows turn out, especially over the first few weeks. We know things were slow for Bitcoin, but it kind of seems like TradFi now have got into the groove of shilling and buying up the bag. So very bullish on what's about to happen here. Then the final point to cover today is Mt. Gox moving some funds, or at least transferring them between wallets here. Mt. Gox transferred 42,500 Bitcoins, 2.85 billion, about an hour ago. So this just moved to a new wallet. Now, in terms of the wall of worry, Mt. Gox has 90,000 BTC left to distribute. And so I think this is the final kind of boss for crypto this cycle. This has been a cloud forever. And now this is starting to subside. So the wall of worry is being climbed. How this goes about in terms of a distribution, no one really knows what's going to happen. Maybe 10% of this gets sold. Maybe a lot of it just doesn't, A lot of people just hodl it. They've waited all this time. If you look at the Bitcoin chart, it looks like it wants to break out here. So at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think this is just one of those major clouds that once it's passed, maybe in the next couple months, there's really just blue skies ahead, and we're seeing huge adoption from the institutions. We're seeing positive statements from potential presidential candidates. You've got a rates cutting cycle to come. China are easing. M2 money supply is back into the green again. I mean, everything is just lining up in terms of macro tailwinds. But that is all from today's video. Happy ETH ETF day to those who celebrate, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.